on the edge? Are the Colts going to make the playoffs? Is Cam Newton going to lead the Panthers to the playoff berth? Who knows? Combsy, cue the intro.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're after dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live, all 3 speaks go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckasha here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the new Beastie merch that is out there right now. We also got the Take 22 shirts that are live out there as well. My hoodie should be in next week. I'm pretty excited about that. We're also going to throw in a alternate t-shirt in there for Take Away 22 as well. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, stay tuned to later and the show will definitely fill you in. We are going to be talking some Tom Brady tonight. We're going to talk some New England Patriots. We're going to talk a little bit of Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals, and if Tom Brady has officially found his cliff, and if Gronk is still the sexiest man alive, because we do see Michelle in the chat. What's going on, Michelle? But first, we have to welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Brandon Beastie Combs. What's going on, Combsy?
What is going on, Michael Buckheiser? What is going on, Man Hour Nation? All our people listening over in the UK, drinking tea, eating crumpets. What is going on, man? It was a crazy ass weekend of football.
Dude,
what
honestly, so first of all, my picks were 27% in the Pick-a-Morse thing. Yeah. It was like we pick against the spread, and I was still in the top 10. So that shows you how bad the weekend was, or how great it was.
I average about 3 to 4 wrong picks a weekend, right? So right. I get about 12 wins a weekend. I had 7 wins yesterday.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Ouch.
It was crazy. I mean, first of all, who would have picked Miami over Baltimore? Then who the hell would have picked, Tampa Bay to lose to Washington? Yeah,
Torrey.
It was just
Torrey
a
would have.
lot of crazy. Well, yeah. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers, leave it to the Pittsburgh Steelers to allow the Detroit Lions to not lose a game.
Yeah.
They didn't win a game, but they didn't lose it either.
Yeah, and who would have picked? So when you picking games against the spread, usually 9.5 point spread, you are taking the under 9 times out of 10 on that, right? Who would have thought that the Dallas Cowboys would have scored like 43 points? It's just like absolutely crazy. I mean, that game was so bad that the commentators at like halftime, like, yeah, we're going to switch to a better game for you guys to watch. like it was that bad. So I actually got to watch the Saints versus the Titans, which we'll be talking about them coming up here momentarily. But we do have some people popping up in the chat. We see Michelle in the chat. What's going on, Michelle? We see Alpha Rob, my man Alpha Rob. What's going on, Alpha Rob? And of course, we got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Drew. Remember Drew over there. Drew is a part of the Man Hour crew here, guys. He has, you see that little purple number thingy looking next to his name? That's because he has joined the membership group. He is a part of the $5.99 membership, and he gets a t-shirt after 6 months, after hours footage, behind the scenes footage, and he has entered in to win our trip to Las Vegas in April. So Combs, tell the people what the trip to Las Vegas in April is all about.
So the trip to Las Vegas is, join the Man Hour crew for a trip to go and be in Vegas while they have the NFL draft. And we can't guarantee admission into the NFL draft, but, we can guarantee that you'll be in Vegas during the NFL draft, which would be a pretty cool experience in itself. I mean, hell, just the trip to Vegas without the NFL draft is probably going to be an experience in itself. But look, you get to join the Man Hour crew. You get to join us in Vegas.
Yeah.
and we get to have a blast.
And our wives won't be there, so who knows what's going to happen, right? No, I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
And now Michelle and Cindy are both booking their flights to Vegas for the same weekend.
I'm pretty sure Cindy's actually going to go because we're going to need a DD. Cindy says they need to make an eye appointment. Wow. Shit is already getting deep in the chat here. So
you need to make an eye appointment.
Yeah, so I said I'm sexier than like her man, over there, Mr. Tight End himself.
Oh yeah,
Gronkowski, and
you can't talk about Gronk, man.
And then hashtag Combs can't go.
I got Michelle a Rob Gronkowski jersey for it was our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And she's been wanting a Gronkowski jersey, so I ordered one. I get all my jerseys. As a matter of fact, I got a Patrick Kane Blackhawks Salute to Service jersey, and put mine on. It was cool. So she got home from work. I was like, "Hey, your jersey came in." I took it out of the wrapper, and this thing was about this big. And I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" They sent the child's size and not the adult size. So
as Cindy would say, it would fit my left boob. That's about it, right?
Yeah. we ended up giving it to her 11-year-old nephews. So yeah.
Cindy got me a Hosmer World Series jersey, and it was the same way. It was just like like actually I don't even think my 4-year-old could like fit into it, but it is what it is. It is time to get into some sports talk here. Calm, and the first topic of choice is we are going to talk about Gronk and those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers got thudded by the Washington football team on Sunday afternoon. This is the second straight loss for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but many people were calling this game like a trap game, fresh off a bye, etc., right? Getting late in the season. It's kind of the 17-game season. Like, we don't know whether to take a week off or whatever, right? But Combs, was this game an actual trap game for the Bucs, or are they in trouble after dropping 2 in a row now?
Yeah, I want to say wholeheartedly that it was a trap game. It's Tom Brady. I never bet against Tom Brady. The guy is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. I never want to discount him. I am very concerned about the interceptions, though. I really am. I'm concerned about what he is seeing out there. I know his head coach called him out in the press conference yesterday. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
But he was just like, we're making. It's not even that we're making mistakes; it's that we're making stupid mistakes, and just calls out Tom Brady. And then I guess Tom Brady was not happy about that, and walked out of the press conference and. Which rightfully so. I mean, yes, I'm concerned about his interceptions over the last 2 weeks against the Saints and now against the Washington football team. But look, those are 2 pretty damn good defenses too. And he's only got 7 interceptions on the year. So 2 is 27 touchdowns. So I'm not going to go out on a limb and say Brady is falling off the cliff. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm not going to give you a Buckheister take. I don't think that he's falling off the cliff. I just think they've had a couple of bad games against a couple of really good defenses. The Saints have a very stout defense. We all raved about the Washington football team's defense before the season. We thought they would have been a better football team than what they've been. So we know what they are. I really thought that once Washington lost
Chase Young.
When they lost Chase Young with the ACL, I really thought that was the time where Tom was going to, come back. And he almost did. Right. Even when every time Washington got the ball back in the fourth quarter, I was like, all right, so they're going to go 3-and-out here. Tom's going to come back and win this game.
Right.
And it just never happened. It never materialized. So I won't say that they're in trouble, but I will say that I'm going to be very much more in tune to next week's game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers than I would have been originally.
Yeah, so before I go on Tampa Tom there, let's address the elephant in the room, and that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, Combs. right now their defense is not the same that it was during that Super Bowl game. Like, hell, they picked up Richard Sherman and like he hurts his calf during pregame. So he's probably out for the rest of the season, and they're already down their 2 other starters. So they're down technically 3 starters in the secondary from last year's team. They are also not getting the pressure on the quarterback like they were last year either. Why did they do so well in the Super Bowl? Is because Patrick Mahomes had no time. It seemed like all day Sunday, Tyler Heineke had at least 6-7 seconds to throw the ball. He had time to go from read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He looked at his coach. Oh, you want me to throw to the tailback? Oh, okay. So like there was no pass rush whatsoever, which to me is kind of crazy, just because they still have JPP, they have Sue, they literally have the same front 7 as they did last year, but obviously Father Time is still undefeated, and it is showing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. People were ranting and raving about this. We returned all 22 starters. But what happens when those 22 starters are now 40 years old, Combs? Father Time is like undefeated, and it's catching up to just not Tom Brady, but everybody.
We're not talking about a team that's 4-5 after
right.
We're talking about a team that's still 6-3, and they've had 2 rough weeks. Now they get the Giants this coming Monday night. And that's the Giants, look, they've been notoriously an Achilles heel for Tom Brady,
right?
And maybe that was back when Mr. Manning was under center, but then they get the Colts and the Falcons. So I would say 2 out of 3 there are givens. The Colts might be a tough battle, and so we'll see. I'm not going to count them out. They do have a kind of a tough schedule. They got the Bills and the Saints after that. So, but then they do get to end the season with 2 against the Panthers and 1 against the Jets. So I still see 12 wins out of this team, maybe 13.
Yeah. I mean, like, there is no way that I'm counting them out by like any means, but the couple teams that you named there, you did not name the Falcons. The Falcons are kind of a sneaky good team. I mean, granted, they are not going to make the playoffs. Do not put words in my mouth. But they have had some good upset wins, right? What I think they have 4 or 5 wins now on the season, if I'm not mistaken. The Buffalo Bills will definitely step up to that Tampa Bay team and like and play. And we will talk about Cam Newton and the Panthers later on in the show. But basically playing the Panthers back-to-back weeks, that could be talk about a kind of a trap game per se. That is a trap last 6 weeks. Bills, Saints, Carolina, Jets, Carolina. I mean, that could get scary quick.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you start playing the same type of football you've been playing over the last 2 weeks, yes. I mean, if your defense all of a sudden can't stop teams from scoring, those teams can score on you. Look, the Carolina Panthers got a little bit better when they added Cam Newton as their quarterback. The Carolina Panthers, got a little bit of juice there. The question for the Carolina Panthers is, how healthy is CMC going to be the rest of the season?
Right.
If CMC is out of there, then they're not a threat to anybody. And I don't care if Cam Newton is their quarterback or not. Yes, he had a great first week back. Yeah, he had a really good game. They beat the Arizona Cardinals. He had a really good game, and it was his first week back. I'm more interested to see how he does in week 2, when he's not riding that emotional high of coming back, where he's not, playing with that chip on his shoulder. Like I feel like it's going to be a different story for the Carolina Panthers moving forward, especially if CMC can't go.
Yeah. CMC is definitely what like makes that engine click. He is the engine. He is the keys. Hell, he is the freaking wheels to that ship. So going back here to Tom Brady and the Bucs here, has Tom Brady found his cliff, Combs?
No. And look, you'll never get me to do it. I'm not going to be Max Kellerman. I'm not going to say he's found the cliff and then, 3 Super Bowls and 5 years later, we're going to be talking about how wrong I was. And the guy's 51 and he's on his 14th Super Bowl appearance. That's not where we're going with this. I don't think he's found a cliff. I just think that he's had a rough couple of games, and I think he's trying to press and do too much. I think the play calling's been a little suspect, but I think the play calling's been suspect because the defense has been allowing a lot of points. And so that kind of puts your offense, which is used to controlling the pace, a little bit out of sorts when they got to play catch up.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, Tom Brady is on pace to have a record number of interceptions this season. Right now, he has 7 through 9 games, and look at my stats just make sure, right? Yeah, so the most he has had in his career, he's had 14. I mean, he's had 14 several times, but he is on pace to have that record-setting year. Also, a big stat here is, how do you upset Tom Brady? You sack him, Combs. So far this year, he has 12 sacks. Last year, he had 21 sacks. Now, Tom Brady has had a couple of seasons when he had 40-plus sacks, 30-plus sacks, but usually they're around the 20 range. Right now, he is on pace to have about 25 to 27 sacks this season, which is about 5th most in his 20-year career. And in those particular seasons when he gets sacked the most, they do not win the Super Bowl or even make it to the AFC Championship games, Combs. So has he found the cliff? No. Is he towing it? Definitely. He is towing it because he is getting hit more. He is starting to press more. And I feel like he is starting to feel the father time starting to get on him, because when you get hit, repetitively, 5, 6, 7 times in a game and take those 12 sacks when you're 45 years old, right? It starts to hurt, Combs. I mean, you just turned 40 and it hurts for you to get out of bed after just sitting at a computer just all day. So I'm 33 and some days I can't even put on my shoes. So, I mean, it's father time is definitely catching up to him. And I'm not saying he is at the cliff, but he is very, very, very close. If they lose to the Giants, it's going to start to swirl. 3 losses in a row for the Super Bowl team. People are going to start to talk, Combs.
Look, man, people could talk all they want. I mean, people talked in 2013 and 2014 when the New England Patriots didn't really have a great season. But then all of a sudden, things picked up. And Brady was finding a cliff, and then he won the Super Bowl.
Right.
And then again in 2017, Brady's finding a cliff, and then they won the Super Bowl. And then 2020, Brady's no longer in New England. He's got to go to a new offense. Can you teach an old dog new tricks? And what did he do? He won the freaking Super Bowl. So talk all you want. You give him all the locker room, all the bulletin board material you want. I'm not counting Tom Brady out. My money is still on Tom Brady. My money is still on him to find a way to lead this team to the Super Bowl. This is a man who has never lost a playoff game when throwing 3 interceptions in that game.
Isn't that stupid stat?
That's insane.
Yeah.
This man just finds ways to win. He is the greatest of all time. It's just, look, I get it. I understand the hate. I hate the New England Patriots. I couldn't stand, I don't like Tom Brady, but you have to give credit where credit's due. And this man is just not falling off a cliff. He is still Tom Brady. And I've said it over and over and over and over again. And I've said it on this show until the day he dies, not the day he retires. He is the best quarterback in the NFL.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it about this time last year when they were 6-3 as well? And they may have been 5-4, right? And we're like, this Bucs team's going to miss the playoffs, yada, yada, yada. And then Tom Brady's like, you know what? I'm Tom freaking Brady. I'm going to call the plays. F Bruce Arians, F Byron Leftwich, S that coaching staff. This is my team. You guys want to win? Follow the Tom Brady way. Do you think Tom Brady is going to do that again?
They were 5-4 at this time last year. They finished the season 11-5.
Yeah.
So and I believe it was when they were 5-4 last time that Bruce Arians came out and threw Tom Brady under the bus. And then when Tom Brady was like, okay, throw me under the bus. Cool. I'm going to take over the play call and we're going to win the Super Bowl. And you're going to look stupid because next year you're going to take the play calling back over and we're going to be fucking 6-3 again. And then I'm going to take it over again if you throw me under the bus. And then we're going to win another stupid Super Bowl.
Wow. So Drew says there is no cliff. They are just a victim, just like all other teams. Plus, like I said, before the season started, when you are the best, you have the target on your back. So he is blaming those 2 losses in a row.
A victim. Not
to, Tom Brady's lack of, playing, but he is chalking it up to the injury bug that has bitten the Bucs. Is that a valid excuse there, Combs?
No, because they still got most of their weapons. They've still got most of their offensive weapons. So I don't think that there's an excuse for how they played. I don't think there's an excuse for the mistakes that were being made. But he's still Tom freaking Brady. So I look, go out and get this guy some no-name white wide receiver who should have been drafted in the 19th round, and he's going to throw for 35 freaking touchdowns on 35 freaking slant routes that go 3 yards, and then the guy makes 95 people miss on his way to the end zone, because that's what Tom Brady does, and it pisses me off.
So I'm going to try to
have been a bear.
I'm going to try to take a different spin on this just a tad bit. Is this maybe showing the lack of coaching that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have? Like, hey, this was all Tom Brady last season, and the Tampa Bay coaching staff just simply sucks, just because we've seen it because every team this time of year is injured. Yes, I know the Cardinals are out there starting quarterback, right? This guy's hurt. They like the COVID list, but no other teams are really using that excuse but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Is it the lack of coaching?
I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are using that excuse. I think the fan base is using that excuse. I think that, people in the media are using that excuse because for some reason, people just need an excuse for why things happen.
Right.
There's no excuse for why. Look, Tom Brady is not finding a cliff. Tom Brady is not doing any of this stuff. He's not trying to lull people to sleep, to take off. He's just had a couple of bad weeks. The defense has had 2 really bad weeks, and the offense is out of sync. They are going to be fine. They are still going to win 12 to 13 games. They're still probably going to the Super Bowl. And if you get into the Super Bowl, look, they could not win another game for the rest of the season. Back into the playoffs as a 7th seed, and my money's still going to be on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because it's Tom freaking Brady.
You shut your horse mouth with that one. Dallas Cowboys all day long from the NFC. But we do have to
get out of here. Dallas, if there's anybody who finds a way how to lose in January, it's the Dallas Cowboys.
No,
what are we in 1995 again?
Yeah, 94, 95. We still
let's talk about the heyday.
At least it's still better than 2016, right? 2016 was the greatest year ever, right? But anyways, let me address.
2016 was the greatest year ever.
let me address Havoc's comment here. He says Bucs Chiefs lucked out to get the Raiders in the second half of the season when they collapsed like the last few seasons. Come on, man. Just face it, the Chiefs are that fucking good.
They lucked out and put up 41 points.
Yeah. Come on, man. Historically, the Raiders always collapse after week 8. So when Mr. Graham Wallace had him up in the top 10 power rankings, I'm like, dude, you're stupid. But I let it go. But then you're gonna say the Chiefs lucked out.
I love how you can call Graham stupid for having the freaking Raiders, who at the time I think were 5-1 in the top 10.
Yeah.
When you had an opinion that the Detroit Lions were going to win the NFC North.
Hey,
how can you call anybody stupid?
Didn't our man Kev say Is the team 9-7 or is a record? Nah,
He wasn't
9-7.
talking about the Lions. That's the second time you've put that in this man's mouth. He was not talking about the Lions with that take.
You are right. He was talking about the Bengals, but then looking at hindsight here, the Lions might be 0-8-1, but man, their team, they are a screaming 11-win team, Combs. Their record does not reflect how good the team is.
Buck. Look, this team couldn't win 11 games if you let them play Madden on easy mode.
You know who could win 11
games?
You know who could win 11 games on Madden easy mode?
Who?
My man, Kev.
You?
What's up, Kev?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
It's all Kev? Good, man. We've been talking some Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Washington ball, and you know, when me and Combs get together, we take just a left turn and go down this rabbit hole. Never fail. So you came right at the right time. So welcome to the show. Welcome to your weekly segment here at the bottom, or the real bottom line, with Kev_0 at real Kev_0 on Twitter. Before we get too carried away, Kev, tell the people what your show is all about.
All right, yeah. So it's the bottom line. It's less about sports recap, highlights, and things like that, what you already know because you watch the game, and more about the kind of stuff that like doesn't get talked about. You know, we'll talk about mental health. We'll talk about some culture stuff in regards to sports. So if you're looking for stuff more along those lines, as opposed to your typical stuff you're going to get from pretty much any media outlet anywhere, come check it out.
Yeah. All right. So you usually bring us a couple topics here. So what's topic number one?
So, well, first, the Lions. I don't know how you can look at the Lions overtime performance this past week and think that's still an 11-win team. That was hard to watch, and I watched the highlights, and that was kind of rough.
Do you really want to go into the Lions talk here?
Kev. He's not. He's going to pick them to be a 14-win team next year, Kev. I just don't even buy it, because he believes they're an 11-win team in his heart of hearts.
But I do appreciate him saying the Cowboys are coming out of the NFC.
Oh, that's straight facts.
Yeah, but then you have to look at all of his other NFL takes and then wonder how much danger you're really in.
Oh man. Well, we'll leave that to be determined. Then we'll keep an eye on that. We'll be up here every week until
they'll be 8-8. Watch it.
We're gonna call it the Buck Jinx.
Yeah,
we're gonna call it the Buck Jinx right here.
If the Cowboys found a way in a 17-game season to still go 8-8, I don't know what I would do with myself.
8-8-1. 8-8-1. Which is what Buck thinks the Lions are gonna go now.
Hey,
the
Lions are
eight,
not
baby.
going to have a 0-16 season or 0-17 season, which is nice.
Yeah.
They'll have a tie. But anyway, so this week has been I kind of want to talk about, and I kind of want to talk about toxic relationships. I spent my entire podcast episode talking about toxic relationships.
Yeah.
And the reason is because you see it all the time. You know, people got friends who go back to the ex-girlfriend or continue to be in relationships that are just toxic and not healthy for either side. And we see a lot of that with, you know, Cam Newton going back to the ex.
You going there, huh?
I talked about it. I'm based in Raleigh, so that whole North Carolina, I work for a radio station in the mornings, and that, you know, it's local, so therefore we're talking Cam Newton or whatever. And I don't think people really realize that, like, there's a reason why they left in the first place. You know, like when you're in a relationship and you break up and then you romanticize all the good times and MVPs and almost winning Super Bowls and the cuddles and all that stuff, and then you say, oh, well, come on back because now I'm lonely, and the new girl down the street isn't cutting it because she's too plain, or because she turns the ball over too much, or whatever the case is. And it's all fine and dandy to first get back together. You know, we're throwing quick little 2 plays for 2 touchdowns. We got you little packages, and you're over here yelling, keep pounding, or whatever the heck they be yelling. But eventually, when the dust settles and they're back stuck with each other again, and they're both going to be like, this is why we ended this. And I mean, their next 3 games, I think I see Washington, Miami, and somebody else after the bye, like some pretty winnable
Yeah.
games. And next thing you know, they're on a 4-game win streak and they're 8-5 and everything looks good, but then they got to play Tampa Bay twice.
2
and they got
dubs.
to play the Saints.
Another dub.
They got to play the Saints
Stop.
again, and they got to play somebody else. But I don't know. Like, where are you guys at with it? Because
Look,
I personally don't know if this Cam Newton thing is really a good idea.
Well, Buck, I'll take it because look, Kev, I'm gonna be honest with you. Buck is still with the first woman that said yes to him, and he's never really wavered. So because he's never had the opportunity. I myself, I've been divorced twice, so I know all about toxic relationships. And it's funny that you said the hashtag keep pounding because that's usually what causes the toxic relationship is the new girl with the hashtag keep pounding. But look, it's the Cam Newton situation. It just made too much sense for them to not go get them. As soon as they knew Darnold was going to be out for a while, he was really the only option, right? Because you're not going to put your season in. I can't remember the damn guy's name, to be honest with you.
CJ Walker.
PJ.
PJ Walker.
Yeah, PJ Walker. Yeah, I mean, is he out of the XFL or is he going back to the XFL? Like, I don't know what's going on. So they put PJ Walker. They're not going to give the rock to PJ Walker. They're going to put it in the hands of Cam Newton. Yes, he's the ex. Yes, they had a dirty breakup. Yes, they decided Teddy Bridgewater was the guy. Then decided Teddy Bridgewater wasn't the guy, and Sam Darnold was. And now Sam Darnold's hurt, so they went back to Cam. I see it as a good thing, though. It's a good thing for the Carolina Panthers. I think that as long as CMC can stay healthy, I think that Cam Newton could actually lead these guys to a playoff berth. I really do, because he knows the system. He's not a good quarterback anymore, but he's a serviceable quarterback. He's a guy that can hit you every once in a while. He's probably going to throw more incompletions than he's going to throw completions, but he can run the ball. And he can make things happen on the move, and he's just an extra weapon, especially when you have CMC. And that's where I think that he's going to thrive a little bit, is because he's going to have a lot of screen passes that he can throw and not mess up because it's a little 2-yard out route. He just can't throw the ball downfield anymore. He can't lift his damn arms. So if you're playing the Carolina Panthers type of ball, he kind of fits into their scheme a little bit. So I'm all right with him going back to Carolina.
So, go ahead. My bad.
Well, I was just gonna say he definitely, alluding to your point, he might not be a great quarterback, but he's still a great football player, right? There are other things you can do besides just drop back and sling the ball around. The thing though is, and it's good. He doesn't have to be the entire be all end all, right? He got weapons, Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson on the outside, DJ Moore, these guys.
That's a big if, though, if McCaffrey can stay healthy. Sure.
But it's also kind of like they don't have an offensive line. He's going to get hit. Cam Newton can't necessarily stay healthy either. And, oh, man, I had a really good point. Buck, go ahead, because I had something in my head.
Yeah, so here's the really good point here, Combs, is – the first things first is when the toxic relationship starts here, it is like, hey, we're going to ease you in, right? And then the next day, you're freaking moved back in. Cam Newton is already slated to be the starter for the Carolina Panthers. Why? He went 3 for 4 for 8 yards on Sunday, Combs.
Yeah.
3 passes. Or three completions for 4 attempts for 8 yards. Yes, he did have a passing touchdown. When he threw it, I think my arm fell off. It looked so freaking painful. And then he fell into the end zone on a on a scramble to the right side of the line. And also, the Panthers are already talking about a marriage too. Like, they've been together for 4 days, and they're like, oh, let's extend Cam Newton on until next year. He brings such great energy, right? You guys, pump the effing brakes. Do you guys understand?
I get it.
Yeah, yes. So, back to saying what Combs did. We broke up for a freaking reason, because you suck. Like
Yeah.
you are terrible in bed, right? You do this wrong, you do that wrong, and then I get a little bit of the ass. I get to hit it twice, right? And then all of a sudden we're talking about marriage. Do you forget how bad you sucked in bed? Like, come on, like, guys.
And the Panthers are like that ex girl, that friend who has the ex, and they keep going back to him, even though every time they talk to you, they're like, "Oh, I'm so happy to be
Damn,
done with
man.
that." And then finally, you're just like, you know what? After a certain point, it's just as much your fault as it is their fault, right? Like,
So
But
so
here's
you
the
deserve
thing.
what you get.
Here's
so
the thing with Carolina. Though.
Go ahead.
Actually, go ahead and finish.
well, like I was gonna say, the only thing that is different from first time around to the second time around is the mom isn't there, like the stepmom is like running the show now, right? Because
now
Ron,
we're going
yeah,
Pornhub here.
well, just because Ron Rivera was the head coach, and now you got Matt Rule, a fresh new look, a new offense, plus you got some weapons. So maybe we aren't pumping the brakes too. I don't know, but Kev, floor is yours.
I thought you were
So-
going a different route when you said stepmom.
Oh no,
Nice.
my clothes
So,
are stuck
here's
in the
thing,
washer.
though. Those girls who are always like, God, like, I'm so glad to be done with him, and then they go back to him, or even the guys who are like, F that, whatever, and then they go back to her. It's because they don't have a plan. They don't have okay, what am I gonna do next in life?
Yeah.
And that's all that this shows with Carolina. Like, there's no plan here, right? Like, if they signed Teddy Bridgewater because they were like they did this whole get rid of Cam, sign Teddy simply because they were like, hey, new coach, new management, new regime. That means we got to let go of Cam. Like, it's almost like they felt they just had to because there's new people in. So, but there was no plan. There was no, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. They brought in Teddy. Then after a year, we're not happy with our offense. Oh, let's go get Sam. Go get Sam, and then we got to go trade Teddy somewhere else. Then it's Sam's throwing the ball over. Now Sam's hurt. Let's go get Cam. What is the plan? Because if the plan is go forward with Sam, then what you do now is you don't use. I understand, like, okay, there's no quarterback in this draft class coming up that makes you like want to tank, right? Like there's no quarterback that it's like, okay, last year, Trevor Lawrence and you had Tua and all them before that. Like there is nothing like that at all in this class. So I understand them saying, well, we're not going to go get a quarterback in the draft. It's like, yeah, no, but you got to start looking at things to build off of, right? There are other things that need to be addressed. Offensive line still needs to be addressed. Bringing in Cam is just what? Are you just trying to sell some tickets? If you're just trying to sell tickets, cool. Then that's fine. You're just trying to sell tickets. But next year, you're talking about extending the contract, come move back in. I want to propose. Next year, then it's like, are we bringing Cam back? Like, well, let's say they make the playoffs. Say you squeeze in at 9-8, you make the playoffs. You're bringing Cam back now.
If they make the playoffs, Cam's coming back.
So then, what's the plan?
And he's gonna have to compete. He's gonna have to compete with Darnold for the starting job.
And that's not a competition. He's gonna get the starting job.
So here's the one thing that I want to address. When the Carolina Panthers were fully healthy, when Robbie Anderson was there, when CMC was healthy, when Sam Darnold was like healthy, guys, we were talking about them backing their way into the Super Bowl. What, they were 4-0, I think, right? And then and then CMC got hurt, and then all of a sudden, they're like a 500 team, and then now we're benching Sam Darnold got hurt. I want to do major air quotes there, and then we're like, oh, like, if you're really not sold on Sam Darnold, look what he did the first 3 weeks of the season. Combs, weren't we saying that, hey, this is a Sam Darnold that we all thought he like he was when he first went into the league? But the Jets just like killed his career, and they're like, oh, this is the real Sam. This is the real the real Sam. Like,
I think Darnold is a better quarterback than we thought he was in New York. And I've said that for a long time because I thought that organization, that coaching staff just held people back. That's what they do. And I don't think that I don't think Sam Darnold's really gotten a fair shake. I mean, when you lose your primary weapon in CMC, that's going to cause you to take a haul. Imagine if right now, if for Tampa Bay, I don't know, imagine Mike Evans goes down, or imagine Leonard Fournette goes down. I mean, you can already see the injuries piling up in Tampa Bay and it having an effect. When you lose a major weapon, I don't care who you are, it's really tough to overcome. Which is why I think that the dynasty in New England did so well is because they never had that key piece. That key piece was always Tom Brady. They always had a bunch of complementary pieces that always just fit back in, and it was just plug and play. When you've got a primary weapon like CMC and he gets hurt, you can't plug and play and replace those numbers. You just can't.
I'm really glad that we're on this because now we're talking. Now we're getting to the nitty gritty because for a while, for the longest time, I've been a Sam Darnold. Like I will defend Sam Darnold to the death. I was like I liked him out of college. I thought that he's got that gunslinger mentality. He is not afraid to throw it in coverage, but he wants to make plays. He wants to make the play, and sometimes that can get you in trouble. But that's been him, and I've always felt, hey, look, you got to give this kid a chance to not be with Adam Gase. Everybody who's with Adam Gase, when they finally get away from Adam Gase, all of a sudden, pops. We're talking about Devontae Parker. We're talking about Ryan Tannehill. We're talking about King and all these former Dolphins who then go somewhere else, and now it's they actually can play a little bit. But watching Carolina, and I had a tweet. They were the team who I was most interested outside of Dallas, being a Cowboys fan. I was most interested in seeing this year because I knew their defense was young, hungry, fast, and played really aggressive. And so I was really like, okay, with Sam Darnold, let's see what they could do because they brought him in to open up the offense. They love what they're seeing in the preseason. Like I was so interested to see what happens. And like you were talking about, the first 3 weeks, Christian McCaffrey, I mean, we were like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got Sam Darnold starting in fantasy, fantasy football. And I'm like, yes, I got my quarterback. CMC goes down, and that's a huge blow because he went from, okay, my offensive line is suspect, but if I really got to get out of my hands, I can just dump it off to a weapon who can go make a play. And then he lost that, and he just all of a sudden got back to being in New York again, and he starts resorting to old ways. But he makes the easy stuff look so hard. So hard.
Yeah.
It like simple check downs look so hard. I don't even hold the game against New England against him because every quarterback this year looks bad against New England and except Dak Prescott. Every quarterback looks bad. Big Bill Belichick, I don't know what he's got going on, but he makes every quarterback look terrible. So I don't hold that against him.
Well, see, I wouldn't go there with I mean, there's a different argument for the Patriots. I mean, they've got a bunch of wins against the Jets, the Texans, and the Dolphins. So I'm not going to throw it out there that the Patriots are. A lot of people are talking. Oh God, look at they're 6-4. They're
AFC
6-4.
championship game versus Chiefs.
Yeah, well, they've beat the bottom of the barrel, and they have one good win against the Los Angeles Chargers because I don't even consider the Cleveland Browns a good win because they're a middle of the road team. But when you talk about, we talk about the Panthers losing CMC. I mean, hell, how do you think I feel? I've got a dynasty fantasy league, or I've got CMC and King Henry are my running backs, and now they're both on the. So yeah. Talk about hurting, Kev. Talk about hurting.
Well, I'm in a dynasty league as well, and 2 years ago, I had Drew Brees and Ben Roethlisberger, and Sam Darnold was supposed to be like all right, that's my future guy, and. 2 seasons ago, I don't know if people remember this. Week 3, all 3 of them got hurt in the same week. All 3 of them got hurt. Teddy Bridgewater took over for the Saints. You can only have 3 quarterbacks in your roster, so I don't want to drop any of them for when they come back. But I was over here scrambling. I'm starting daggone. I mean, I started Teddy a few times. I'm trying to start. I'm just all over the place. Starting CJ Beathard because Jimmy Garoppolo's getting hurt. I'm tripping. So I feel your pain.
So let me ask you this question here. Had a comment come through the chat here from our man Alpha Rob. He says Sam Darnold's arm isn't great. Do you need a strong arm in Carolina to be successful with CMC and Robbie Anderson?
Yeah. Need a strong arm is a hard thing to say because Mac Jones doesn't have a strong arm, but arm talent. His arm is not necessarily the strongest. He's not Matthew Stafford. He's not Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. I mean, he might not even be Baker Mayfield, but he's got arm talent. He can put the ball where it needs to go when he's doing what he needs to be doing. He can throw that sidearm if he needs to throw that sidearm. And honestly, I think that yes, he needs to have some sort of his arm talent has to matter in Carolina because they can't continue for McCaffrey to be this workhorse. Like, I just don't think his body is built that way. To be your primary on the ground and be your primary in the air is a lot for him.
It's a lot for anybody.
Correct. I think he can run between the tackles, but we're not all built like. I mean, all the running backs aren't built like Derrick Henry, and he got hurt. The Titans ran him into the ground. So Sam Darnold's arm strength isn't necessarily like the strength itself is not what we got to focus on. We got to focus more on the arm talent. He can put it where it needs to be, but it's up here. There's something mental, whether he's just not developing or whether he's just in his own head. And once he gets like off game script, he seems to then resort to his old ways, which is all the way back to USC. He's got judgment issues.
So does Combs.
I was talking about arm talent, and I'm watching Matthew Stafford throws a pass to Taylor Higbee. It bounces 3 feet off of his chest and into the arms of the defender who gets a pick 6. And that goes against Matt Stafford. How unfair is that?
Well, did you see that Tom Brady throw where he threw it to the daggone wide receiver who caught it, did a whole ass football move, turned around, ball got bounced up, and there's a pick. I don't understand how that happens.
Yeah.
So one more question for you, Kev, here, because Alpha Rob is on a roll here. He says Sam Darnold is Daniel Jones.
Ooh.
Sam Darnold is Daniel Jones.
That's a good one.
That's fair. But here's what I would say, honestly. I don't think that like we don't see any progress with Sam. Like, we're not seeing any progress with Sam Darnold. Like, Daniel Jones, even if it's minuscule, there's some sort of progress. Like, the thing everyone holds on to with Sam Darnold is like, oh, the last 4 weeks of his rookie year and the last 6 weeks of his second year.
This Sam Darnold's rookie year all over again, though?
But that's what I'm saying.
Like
this is
he
year
left
5,
the Jets finally.
Like,
year. Yeah, I believe this is his. Like, you've got to look at him as a rookie again, even though it's his 5th year in the league. You've got to look at him as a rookie again because he's. Right, but he was just with such a bad organization. It was so bad.
Listen. He's in year 5. They come into this league at 22 years old. He's already 27. You can't pay him like a rookie now, and you can't. So now your cap space is limited to what you can do with the rest of your roster. And
but you knew that coming into it, though.
But he's got to be 32 years old to year 5. That's old.
Yeah.
At that point, we might as well just go get a different rookie.
Well, look, if you bring him along and you allow him to do the things, allow the team to get healthy, I think it's unfair to 9 weeks into the season to say that or 10 weeks into the season now to say that Sam Darnold doesn't deserve a fair shot at this thing. Because look, when they were healthy, he was playing pretty damn well. And then they got unhealthy. They got hurt. He got hurt. CMC was hurt. They've been dealing with the injury bug pretty good over there. And he just hasn't. I feel for the kid, man, because he just hasn't had really a fair shake of things. I mean, first you get drafted by the Jets and you have to deal with Crazy Eyes as your head coach, and then you got to go and you gotta deal with all the stuff that they're doing over in New York, and now you go to Carolina. You're playing well, you're playing your ass off, and then you lose your big weapon, and then you get hurt. Like, it's fair. It's not.
That's fair. One thing he's never gotten a chance to do is play behind an offensive line that's even average.
Right.
And so one of the big knocks when I watch NFL Live and I try to see what they say, they talk about how he has happy feet, how he'll be in the pocket and you'll see him just kind of he won't just settle in the pocket. He's always kind of jittery, and it's because he spent 5 years to where he's got a low key run for his life after 2.2 seconds. So that is fair. The problem is, I don't know, who gives him a shot after this? If Carolina makes the playoffs with Cam Newton, Sam Darnold's, he's playing for a new contract. Where does he go? Does he go to
Denver? That's where all the quarterbacks go.
Does he make them better? That's funny. He just keeps following Teddy around.
God.
Right.
If that's the case, and does he make them better than Teddy?
He will be a serviceable backup
Houston.
in somewhere. No, because Houston, like I think they're sold on Tyrod Taylor.
Stop it.
it
Nobody
would-
is sold on Tyrod Taylor.
It would
Buck.
not surprise me if Sam Darnold ends up in like San Francisco to back up Trey Lance.
Even Tyrod Taylor's mom and dad laughed when you just made that statement.
Pro Bowl bound, right?
Nobody's sold on
If you're a
Tyrod
rookie-
Taylor.
If you're a rookie quarterback and you want to be guaranteed to play, go get drafted to the team Tyrod Taylor's on. I'm telling you, every
What?
time,
What?
every time. Think about it. Browns
Hall of Fame.
Punctured lung.
punctured lung in L.A. What the heck is that? Like, who is These are professional.
It was Herbert's
professional
dad.
doctors.
It was Herbert's dad.
Yeah, it was Herbert's uncle that was the doctor or some shit.
And Buffalo. He led Buffalo to a championship, and they went and drafted Josh Allen. He's at
Yeah.
it. Like everywhere he's at, they draft a young quarterback.
Are we gonna pretend like that doctor didn't have $5,000 riding on the fact that Justin Herbert would start by week 2?
I mean,
Are we
look,
gonna pretend like that wasn't a thing?
I'm not saying it was or wasn't. I'm just saying if you are a rookie quarterback and you want a chance to play immediately and start your first year, go get drafted to the
Yeah.
team Tyler Taylor's on.
I mean,
And just look at it.
the facts are there because Davis Mills has started more games this year than Tyrod Taylor and Deshaun Watson.
Tyrod
So-
gets hurt a lot too, and it's bad because he's not terrible. He's just a game manager. If he could stay healthy, he could do like the Ryan Tannehill things, where we manage the game. Not gonna ask him to do too much. Might win a playoff game with him throwing 6 passes, but
Would Sam Darnold be good in San Francisco?
No.
the scheme in San Francisco is designed for pretty much any quarterback to be successful if you just run it competently. It's the schemes wide receivers open, but it's timing, it's quick
Yeah.
decision making. But if Jimmy Garoppolo can be successful, which he's been, we can, we
He's
have your
healthy.
opinions about that. Then anybody.
See, I think
can.
Darnold's a better quarterback than
Than
Jimmy G.
Garoppolo. I think Darnold's just still got so much upside. Like,
Yeah.
we don't know because he's got that Brett Favre playmaking-esque. I mean, we've seen he's mobile, right? But he tries to make the play. He tries to kind of overdo it sometimes. That's where he gets himself in trouble. But remember now, Brett Favre led the league in picks. How many years? Like
All
Brett
of them?
Favre.
All of them. Get out of here.
So the turnovers, we put a lot of weight and emphasis on the turnovers, but I mean, giving your team the best chance to win every week is really what it comes down to. And I do think that Darnold can. I mean, San Francisco, especially if Jimmy G's not there, Darnold's going to be one of these guys. Oh, maybe he'll go to Detroit. I don't know what's going on with Jared Goff. But
That's what I was
like
getting ready
Darnold's
to
going to be
say,
one of
yeah.
these guys who people are going to bring him in, and he's going to compete. He's going to be a Teddy. He's going to end up being a journeyman all over the place. Maybe he'll get lucky, have a great season, and he'll just be competing for the jobs until he's 31 and someone says, "Oh, we're going to bring in a rookie," and that's just kind of how the cycle of this NFL life goes.
Huh. Crazy. Topic number 2, Kev. You got
Topic number 2.
You got it.
Right.
Do you got a second
I mean,
topic?
well,
Number 6.
well, no, it's funny because Odell's playing right now, and
Ah.
I was again talking about
is
toxic
he
relationships.
playing?
Yeah, 2 catches so far,
Yeah.
but he also
They've thrown to him more times when he's been open than they did his entire career in Cleveland.
Oh, shut your
correct,
mouth.
correct. But we were talking about toxic relationships and how important it is to get out of those, and so Odell and the Giants was pretty toxic, and Odell and the Browns is pretty toxic, and now he's in LA, and
Give it 3 weeks.
give it 3 weeks. But so I'm actually interested in y'all's opinion on. Maybe we talked a little bit about this. Did we talk about this last week? We talked a little bit about Odell last week, right?
Is Odell the epitome of the "it's not you, it's me"?
I wouldn't go that far.
It is Odell. What are you talking about?
I mean, well, I don't even want to talk about. I more like. Do y'all think that he's actually? You think he's still a top receiver in this league?
Never
When I say top,
was.
not
Never.
top 5.
Well,
Never
stop
was.
saying never was, Buck. His first 3 years in the league, he was great. And since his
He
first
blew his
3
way to
years
the
in the
top.
league,
Congratulations.
he's been below average. You know what I mean? Like he's been he was his first year in Cleveland, he was good. Just good, not great. He was good. And then he hasn't been nothing. Like, look, when you have 8 years in the league and you have more than twice the amount of touchdowns in the first 3 years, it says something. Like you're not the same guy. But look, that's the lifespan in the NFL, right? That's the lifespan nowadays of wide receivers and running backs. You get 4 to 5 good years, and that's it. And go collect your yellow jacket, go collect your payday, and enjoy yourself. And I think that's what Odell's having a hard time grasping, is that he's not that guy that he was in his first 3 seasons, and he still thinks he is. He's like that. You know how everybody's got that one, relative or that one, friend who is just too old to continue doing the things that they're doing, but they still try to keep doing it anyway. Like
Still young. I'm still
that's
young.
what Odell. That's what Odell is, man. Odell is that guy. He's like me, right? I'm 40 years old. It hurts me to wake up in the morning after an 8-hour day at work. Okay, but on Saturdays and Sundays, when there's a softball tournament, I'm out there diving all over the field, doing everything I got to do, and then I come home and it takes me 25 minutes to walk from the couch to the bathroom because I'm so damn sore. Because I don't know that I can't do that anymore, right? That's what Odell is. That's Odell Beckham right now. He doesn't know that he's not the same guy. And if he would just realize that it's okay for him to not be the number 1, maybe not even be the number 2, but be the role player, be the veteran role player that he can be, then he could take off with the Rams. If Sean McVay can get him to realize that, this Rams team is set up for a Super Bowl run out of the NFC.
Well, so what you're telling me is Odell needs to be okay with being what Antonio Brown has become in Tampa Bay.
Yes.
But what I'm asking is, because in my opinion, Antonio Brown, like let's say this year, he's 1-year contract and he's a free agent. Antonio Brown can go be a number 1 receiver on quite a few teams.
Ooh, on what teams?
Bears.
Okay, well, Detroit.
No.
Who's a better receiver on the Bears than Antonio Brown?
Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney. I take both of those guys right now than Antonio Brown.
Come on, Combs.
You wouldn't take Allen Robinson over Antonio Brown?
I will let you have an argument for Robinson, but you're gonna sit here and tell me Mooney is better than Antonio Brown?
Oh, dude, Mooney's a beast. He's just been hurt all year. Don't let the numbers fool you this year. Mooney is a beast. He's just been playing hurt all season long.
I'm not looking at the numbers. I'm watching you on the field.
Yes,
he's
overrated.
Mooney.
Brown. Okay,
Mooney's
we
a
can talk
stud.
about the Lions as well. We can
Jets,
talk about
Giants.
Antonio Brown would be the best receiver on the Niners. Antonio Brown will be the best receiver.
All right, so let me ask you this then. Maybe Antonio Brown can go be the number 1 wide receiver. Can you be a good team if Antonio Brown is your number 1 wide receiver? Because you named a whole lot of teams that aren't very good.
Okay, so all right, let's go with playoff teams. Antonio Brown could be the best wide receiver.
On the Patriots, he would be the best receiver.
Well, what if we replace? He would. What if we replaced Devontae Adams with Antonio Brown?
Why would you? You can't replace. If you
Well,
replace Devontae,
if you
replace Devontae Adams with
Antonio
no, you're taking a huge step back. If you're talking about the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. You're replacing the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL with Antonio Brown and saying you're still going to be just as good?
How much do you think Devontae Adams has to do with winning football games? Hold on now. This is 1 wide receiver we're talking about here. Aaron Rodgers matters more than Devontae Adams, meaning Devontae Adams is much more replaceable than
they matter together. They need each other right now.
No, they don't.
Right now, Devontae Adams. Right now, Devontae Adams is.
Aaron Rodgers did it with Greg Jennings. Aaron Rodgers will do it with anybody.
Aaron Rodgers did it with the 45-year-old Randall Cobb versus the Arizona Cardinals. That many people say Arizona Cardinals the best team in the NFL, right? They suck.
Stop.
But that's beside the point. Aaron Rodgers beat the Cardinals with Randall Robb.
Buck.
Come on, man.
We're talking about the Cardinals with Colt McCoy. Colt freaking McCoy.
No.
DeAndre Hopkins.
That was when they were at full full
No, it was
strength.
not.
Kev
No, it
is
was not. That was the
100%
first
right.
week they were losing Devontae Adams. They were DeAndre Hopkins and
Kyler
and
Murray was
Kyler
in there.
Murray
No, they
did
were
not
all-
play
they
in
were
that
all
game
in
against
there.
Green Bay. No, they did.
Antonio Brown would be
Go
the
back
best
and look at it.
receiver on the Ravens right now.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown would be the best receiver on the Saints right now.
Second
Antonio
best on
Brown
the
would
Chiefs
be-
behind Travis Kelce.
Okay. Antonio Brown would be the best receiver if he went back to the Steelers right now. They're not very good, but I'm just going down the list.
You
of
take
teams
him
now.
over Juju?
In a heartbeat.
Absolutely. What?
In a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
You know,
Antonio Brown. If
I would
Antonio
go out on
Brown
a
went
limb
to
and say they'll be
Carolina,
better than
he
the
would
Browns too.
He'd be the best receiver on Carolina. He'd be
I
the
think
best
you're
receiver in
highly
Pittsburgh.
overrating Antonio Brown right now. I don't know
man.
what's going on right now.
I
Is it
don't-
like is he coming on your show next week, Kev?
Nah,
Is
I wish.
Antonio Brown scheduled to be on?
I wish, man. I really just think, if you watch, because the Bucks have 3 number 1 wide receivers.
Easy.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
I
Chris
have to watch the
Godwin-
Bucks
Chris
a lot
Godwin
because
is-
my fiance is in love with Rob Gronkowski. So I have to watch the Bucks all the damn time just so she can see Rob Gronkowski. So I have to watch them more than I care to admit. So I've watched them a lot.
Like he still gets
Man.
open. He can't really go. You can't really go. He's one of those like twitchy,
Yeah.
really gets in and out of his cuts fast.
Yeah.
The Stephon Diggs type. Like the problem is not his ability on the field. The problem is what's going on in here, and him blowing up and all this other nonsense with the Raiders and blah blah blah. That's more of an issue than his actual ability to play the position, which is where it gets a little sticky. But and this is all stemming from the Odell Beckham conversation, which is all those teams I just named for the most part. Odell could go on their team and be the best wide receiver. We just talked about how we got to give Sam Darnold an opportunity to get out of there. We got to give Odell an opportunity to get out of the situation he didn't really want to be in from the jump. He was traded there to die. He was not traded there to be successful. He was traded there because New York was like, we're not, 1, trying to deal with you. You were too damn good. We don't want to see you in the NFC. And 2, you want to get out of here? Watch what we send you real quick. We're going to see you to the laughing stock of this league for 10 plus years. So he was sent there to die. So we got to give him a chance, just like we got to give Darnold a chance. We have to play by the same rules. Have to.
I see what you're saying.
And
I get
Robert
that
Woods
to
being
an
hurt,
extent.
big
Yeah.
opportunity.
So I was going to ask something, but I totally forgot. I should have wrote it down. Must have not been important. Imagine that. Buck with the non-important thought.
That's all of your thoughts.
Welcome to
So who
my
you guys-
world.
Who you guys got in the Super Bowl, though?
That's a
Because
great
I heard
question.
you say Cowboys. I heard you believe you're going with Brady, but like, do we really believe in Brady? And you got Rams over here, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah,
It's kinda-
I
it's
think the
kinda cheap.
NFC is harder to predict than the AFC. I
Von
think
Miller's
that
hurt,
the NFC is wide open.
He's hurt.
He has
He's
a
playing.
real bad ankle injury.
He's playing, Buck.
Yeah, like I know he's playing, but I read a report where he has like a stress fracture or something like just like that.
So he's just playing. I got you.
Yeah.
But no, I think the NFC is. I would not be surprised to see the Rams in the Super Bowl. I would not be surprised to see Tampa Bay, obviously, because I never bet against Tom Brady. I didn't say they would go. I just said I wouldn't. I'm not putting my money. If you go to a playoff game and you got Tom Brady in there, Kev, are you putting your money on the other team?
Nah.
No, you don't. You can't. You can't. Right? Like, so I wouldn't put my money on against Tom Brady. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the Rams there. I wouldn't be surprised to see Arizona there. If they're healthy, Arizona's the best team in the NFL. I'm sorry. They've lost 2 games, and both of those games they've lost, there's been no Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. So, look, I'm telling you right now, that is the best team when healthy. They're the best team in the NFL.
What is wrong with them?
Kyler Murray has a sprained ankle.
Kyler
and
has an
Devontae
ankle.
I think Adams is
hamstring.
Hopkins a hamstring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And so you were 8-0 or 8-1, and now you're 8-2, and you were letting them rest because you know what, you gotta lead in the division.
rest.
You can afford a game or two and let them rest and get them fully healthy, because they said DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray both would have went this week, but they were both at 75%. So you give them another week and you get them back to 100.
But
And
this is the same Cardinals team that beat the Vikings off some fluke stuff.
That
got
was the
lucky.
only game. That was the only game they won off fluke stuff. Before, other than
No,
that,
I
they were
know.
murdering teams. They were murdering teams.
They've also
Just
played
like
the 49ers and some other crap
Stop
teams, right?
it, Buck. Go to bed. You're drunk.
I'm not drunk.
Like
yet.
I don't know what to tell you. But then you go in the AFC. I think it's basically a 3-team race, right? You got the Buffalo Bills, you've got the Kansas City Chiefs, who you can never count out. I don't care what their record is, and you got the Baltimore Ravens. Other than that, man, I would be surprised to see anybody else in the Super Bowl.
To be honest, the Cardinals beat the Titans week 1 when the Titans weren't playing any defense. Beat the Vikings week 2 by 1. Beat the Jags 31-19. Beat the Rams. Now they put that smackdown on the Rams.
In LA.
In LA. Then they beat the Niners. They've beaten the Niners twice already. They beat the Browns, which you can say which one about the Browns. They beat the Texans, lost to the Packers, lost to the Cardinals.
Two good wins. Congratulations.
I do think they're a good team, and they've got that. I wish J.J. Watt was playing. So that because like they've got that kind of some veteranness, they got AJ Green on the outside with D Hop. They brought in Zach Ertz. I think Kyler is. I mean, if he was staying healthy, he probably would be the MVP.
They get Kyler and D Hop back this next week. This team is still. I had them at 15-2 before the season. That's what I picked the Cardinals. I've been a believer in the Cardinals since before the season. I still see them as maybe a 3 or 4 loss team. Like they're not. The injuries hurt a little bit, but when they get these boys back, man, they are filthy, and they are tough to deal with. And this team, to me, like I don't know, I picked them preseason to be in the Super Bowl. I had the Cardinals preseason in the Super Bowl.
So Combs, who so you gave us like 15 teams that could possibly be in the Super Bowl. Who is going to the Super Bowl?
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go. I'll be that guy. I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals versus the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Kev, who do you got?
That's a gross Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's that's so bad. That's disgusting.
Why is that disgusting? They're two really good teams.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I'm not saying that because of the teams. It's just more of just like, I don't like go watch no NFL to see.
And then poor Buffalo Bills fans are going to lose another Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I really like talent-wise, I really like the Rams, but I don't really believe. I mean, the Bucs last year were the first team that I can remember seeing where they just like brought a bunch of people, put it all together, and then boom, go win one. Like,
is it because you don't trust Matthew Stafford to win a big game?
No, I don't have anything against Matthew Stafford personally. Like, I don't have any gripe with Matthew Stafford.
No, I don't have a gripe with Matthew Stafford either. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he was just hidden in a really bad organization in Detroit. I'm just saying, I watched the guy. He's a leader. He's a veteran. The guy plays one of the toughest guys in the NFL. I just don't know if I trust him to make that play in a big game.
Matt Stafford can get there. But anyway, I don't think that. All right, boom. We brought in Odell. We're gonna bring in Von Miller. We're gonna do all like. I don't think that when you do all this and like rush this all to one big pot, it never tends to work out that way. I think the Bucs struck gold. So I don't go with Rams. I'm not going with the Bucs to go back. I don't like how they play defense, even fully healthy. They can't stop.
Go with my Cardinals, Kev.
I'm not going with the Cardinals. I'm going with my Cowboys.
Oh, you homer! You homer!
Hey! I've watched this team my whole life, and I was born the last time they won a championship, and I watched them lose games the same way every year, and they're not doing that this year. They're doing things different. The Atlanta game, I'm not impressed smacking Atlanta around. Like, I'm not impressed that they're smacking Atlanta around, but those are the games where it's like the trap games. You're looking forward to the Chiefs. Everyone's starting to get a little bit of expectations because Broncos, look, I'm going to give them a pass. You want to know why I'm going to give them a pass? Because everybody is having that game where it's just like, yeah, you just don't look good, right?
This game this week will tell who the Dallas Cowboys are.
Absolutely. This is one of those, like, you get to hold yourself against the standard, see where you're really at. It's perfect kind of midway through the season. So on and so forth. So in the NFC,
don't you dare put that No, Buck. No. You do not get to hold that Kansas City Chiefs world champions hat in front of his face after last week you were saying hashtag bench Mahomes.
And it worked. It worked, didn't it?
In the AFC,
Oh, okay.
In the AFC, I don't know who to pick. I'd pick Baltimore, but they got a lot of injuries. I don't think that's sustainable. I mean, I guess Buffalo, we get Cowboys, Bills 3. In which history
Bills fans will be, instead of jumping through tables, they're going to be jumping off the freaking off Niagara Falls. That's what they're going to be jumping off of if they lose another Super Bowl to the Cowboys. I'll be all in for that. I will be all in for the chaos.
I don't like Pittsburgh. I don't like Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee is as good. I mean, they're 7-0 against playoff teams from last year, and now their schedule's easy. But I still don't like them. So it's kind of like you almost have to go either Buffalo or Kansas City, and I don't like having to do that. And I really don't want to go Buffalo because Josh Allen, while he's putting up MVP-esque numbers, he had a great season last year. He still has those times where it's just kind of like, yeah, that was stupid. Like, and you can't unsee him running on the right side of the field in a playoff game and deciding, I'm going to lateral that bad boy all the way to the other side of the field. Like, you just can't unsee that stuff. And so I have a hard time picking the Bills. I don't know who's coming out of the AFC, man. I'm
Pick the Browns.
Tori just texted me and said, how come none of you guys are talking about the Packers? Tori, it's because the Packers only lose in the NFC title game. They don't make Super Bowls.
Yeah. We don't really believe in the Packers either, Tori.
Do you guys want the real answer to this Super Bowl?
Give us the real answer, Buck.
It is going to be the 7th seed in the NFC. I'm talking the New Orleans Saints or the Chicago Bears.
I thought you were going to say the 8-1 Detroit Lions.
No.
Wait, did you say the Chicago Bears?
Yeah.
They're not making the playoffs.
Whoever makes that 7th seed, I'm probably going to go with the Saints because I think the Saints back their way into the
they're going to be the 6th seed.
Play
The 7th
playoffs.
seed is going to be Carolina or Minnesota.
You think so? Okay. Well, I'm going with the Saints. And then just to end this story that the Raiders are already writing, they fire our coach. We have a gay player. We fire Henry Ruggs, right? It's going to be the Chargers. Chargers versus Saints.
Buck.
I hyped you up for the Raiders. You guys thought I was going to go Raiders? No. Chargers, Saints.
Buck.
You
thought my Super Bowl pick was gross?
You picked two teams who are probably not even going to make the playoffs, my man. But that's fine. I respect your conviction.
You might as well have just picked the 8-1 Lions.
Trevor Siemian is not going to the Super Bowl.
You are right. He is not, but Taysom Hill is.
No, he's not either. He's definitely not.
Kev, you want to do the rest of the show with Buck? I'm going to take the rest of the night off. I can't do this with him.
Seems like that's Buck's place in society. You're a troll, aren't you?
I'm not going to hear confirm or deny it. So
I understand. Maybe we'll go Bengals next week.
Look, let's just say we're not going to say he's a troll, but we're going to say if the Buck ever had a place in life, it'd be on somebody's desk with a hairdo that sticks straight up that you could comb.
I don't have hair, Combs. We fucking know this, dude. Come on, man. All right, Kev. Thanks for joining us, man. As always, we'll see you next week, boss.
Always a pleasure, guys. Y'all take it easy.
All right, you too, bud.
Later, Kev.
All right, Combs. Are we ready to get into some more sports talk, man?
Dude, are we just going this whole show without a break?
Why? Do you need a break?
No, I'm good.
Okay, me neither. Let's go for it, man. Let's do some way or no way.
All right.
Let's bring it. Hey, actually, if I remember right,
where's my jingle?
Yeah.
No way. Yes way.
And that's how we get demonetized.
Detroit City.
And that's how we get demonetized because you stole that beat.
I mixed it up just a little bit.
We get copyrighted every time I play it.
Oh well.
It's all good. Way or no way.
Yeah. All right. So way or no way. Are you ready, Buck?
I'm always ready, boss.
All right. So we were just talking about this man, Trevor Siemian. We were talking about the Saints. You said they're going to the Super Bowl. Not with Trevor Siemian, but with Taysom Hill. So I ask you this. Trevor Siemian will have a starting job in the NFL next year.
Absolutely not, Combs. There is no freaking way Trevor Siemian is going to have a starting job in the NFL. If Deshaun Watson doesn't have a starting job right now, Trevor Siemian simply will not. Why? Just because he is a Ryan Fitzpatrick. He is a great journeyman backup for 2 or 3 weeks, and hell, we seen him get replaced by Taysom Hill this week, and Taysom Hill is arguably the worst backup quarterback in the league, and it like a lot. I know we'll talk about this later, but yeah, there's no way Trevor Siemian finds a starting job unless somebody gets hurt, like Jameis gets hurt again, or somebody to that effect. But starting job week 1, absolutely not.
Trevor Siemian absolutely will have a starting job next year. You know where Trevor Siemian will have a starting job next year?
Houston.
Carolina Panthers. Because Cam Newton is not going to take the Panthers to the playoffs because CMC is going to be hurt. So they're going to let Cam Newton go. And they don't believe in Sam Darnold because Carolina Panthers don't believe in any quarterback that they've ever brought in, ever in the history of ever. So they're going to bring in Trevor Siemian for a year. And he'll start for about 3 games. And then they'll replace him too. So absolutely, Trevor Siemian will have a starting job next year. Way.
Okay, let me get off this thing. What's going on here?
All right.
Hang on.
So we were just talking. Oh. Forgot about it.
No way.
You better forget.
Yes way.
All right. So Cam Newton, we just talked about, will lead the Panthers. Will lead the Panthers to a playoff berth.
So I know we've been talking a lot about Carolina here, but let me pull up their schedule here real quick. Where's it at? There it is. Bada bing, bada boom. So right now they're sitting at 5-5. So they're a 500 team. They play Washington next, Miami, Falcons, and then the Bills, Bucks, Saints, and then Bucks again. So they're probably going to end the season off with 4 losses. Let's just be flat out honest. The Bucks are going to get hot. They always do. So they have to win their next 4 games versus Washington, Miami, Falcons, and then the Bills to even have a shot at the playoffs for that 9 wins, right? I don't think they beat Washington, Combs. They will beat Miami. They won't beat the Falcons, and then they lose the final 4 games of the season. So absolutely not. This Cam Newton experiment is over as soon as they said we are going to start him next week. Like, no way Cam Newton leads them to the playoffs.
Look, I put the caveat in there. If CMC's healthy, I think he does lead them to the playoffs. But I don't think CMC will be healthy, so I'm also going no way here. I think CMC gets hurt. Cam Newton's just not a good enough quarterback to take anybody to the playoffs. He can throw the ball 5 times a game, maybe 6 times a game before his arm falls off. And once teams catch up to the Wildcat that he's going to be running, it's just going to be lights out for Cam Newton. And so I don't think they're going to the playoffs. No way. Yeah. I'm with you.
And the fastest way they can hurt CMC, put him in the freaking Wildcat and let him run the ball. That's how you're going to hurt CMC. I think they ran it for like -3 yards. It was so stupid.
They should have stuck with PJ Fleck.
No.
Oh,
Yes
same
way.
difference.
Isn't PJ Fleck like a quarterback for Washington or something like that? Or not Wisconsin, wasn't it?
I have no clue.
I don't know.
I just remember the name.
Yeah, me too.
So, well, Torrey's wants to know about his Green Bay team. So let's talk about Green Bay. Green Bay's defense is the best in the NFL. Way or no way?
Oh, so when you say the best in the NFL, if we're talking about the last 3 weeks, Holmes, easily best in the NFL. Kyler Murray, they held him down to a 56 passer rating. They held Patrick Mahomes down to 42, and they held Russell Wilson to like a 13 passer rating. So the last 3 weeks, yeah, they have been the best defense in the entire league. But what they do week 1, Combs, they have so much ground to make up from week 1. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, moving forward, yeah, they might arguably be the best defense in the league. But the best defense right now, hands down, the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are playing great football on the defensive side of the ball, and they're getting a lot of timely turnovers as well. Give me the Tennessee Titans, not the Green Bay Packers.
Again, Buck, you're sleeping on the best team in the NFL.
The Chiefs?
And the best defense in the NFL, and that is the Arizona Cardinals. It is not the Green Bay Packers. The Arizona Cardinals have allowed more than 21 points this season once. Once. That's the only time they've allowed 20, and there's only 2 times they've allowed more than 20 points. They don't allow you to score. They hold you out of the end zone. They do not let you put up points. Even in their losses, they're not letting you put up points. That's just what the Arizona Cardinals do. They have the best defense in the NFL. Not the single. The only thing Green Bay is really good at is losing in the NFC. All right, Buck. It's your time to shine. The Detroit Lions will not lose a game this week. They tied the Pittsburgh Steelers. They did not win one, but they will not lose. They will not go 0-17. They are now 0-8-1. Yep. They still have a chance to be an above 500 team. So I ask you this, Buck, tonight you're sleeping in Lions footy pajamas.
No way, Combs. Come on. Don't you guys remember like three weeks ago when I killed the Lions and then I brought them back to life? I gave them a little bit of girth in their sausage down there, and I slayed them again, Combs. And then they give me this little bit of hope. They tie. Man, come on, Combs. We speak on them being an 11-win team. That's just all for the fun and games. Combs, they fucking suck. The Lions are terrible. I have put the hex on them. I hope they don't win 5 games for the rest of their lives. Hell no, I'm not sleeping in Lions footy pajamas, although I did sleep in some footy pajamas last night.
Buck.
Chiefs.
I called Cindy while you were at work today.
Yeah.
And she sent me a picture of what you were sleeping in last night.
Damn it.
And you had on these Lions footy pajamas. You were wearing a Lions foam helmet with a Lions foam finger.
Yeah.
Like you were all lioned out. And so the answer is absolutely yes. You had the lion in the cage in your living room too. I don't know, like you were drinking the coach's Kool-Aid, having a live lion around the kids. Like I don't know what the hell's going on in the Buck household. Absolutely, Buck sleeping in Lions footy pajamas. Buck always sleeps in Lions footy pajamas because Buck is the only person in the world that thinks the Lions are actually a good football team.
I mean, they don't suck, Combs.
No way. Yes way.
I really wish I would have thought about it before the show because I definitely would have found a picture of you and edited some Lions footy pajamas on it.
Oh yeah, like to be honest, I do have some. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm totally kidding. But guys, we got a couple minutes here before we're going to talk about the next topic here. So let's go ahead and jump through some comments here, Combs. So Michelle comes and it says, wait. Are you dreaming about Buck? What did I miss?
Nobody's dreaming about Buck. I said I called Cindy.
Yeah.
And she said that Buck was sleeping in Lions footy pajamas with the Lions foam helmet and a Lions foam finger.
Yeah. And then Drew says, Buck wears a Lions onesie? No, Drew.
She also said she really liked the finger, by the way.
Yeah, it was great. I tell you what. So Alpha Rob says, here we go. Here's a great comment from Alpha Rob. Alpha Rob says the Bills defense is the best, only team with every player in the secondary that has a NIT. So he's saying not the Cardinals, not the Titans, not the Panthers, but the Buffalo Bills have the best defense in all of NFL.
Let me ask you this. How many times this year have the Buffalo Bills allowed over 21 points?
Let's look at the score. It looks like once.
2.
They get 21-2 Washington, but they also scored 43 points. So that could be.
So they're actually right out. They're actually kind of on pace with the Arizona Cardinals. They do have a couple of shutouts. So I mean, look, that's not a bad argument. That they do have a really good defense. It's not a bad argument. I'm not mad at them for that argument.
Yeah.
I trust Arizona's defense more than I trust Buffalo's moving forward.
Do you really trust their defense though? Just because the Packers ran all over that Arizona Cardinals defense, and like, how do you win in January? I mean, Luke G said it. You run the ball, and if you can't stop the run, the Cardinals can't. Right now, the Buffalo Bills can't. So maybe.
Fuck, they had 78 yards rushing against the Cardinals.
Who did?
The Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, but they still ran it when the time was necessary, and they scored a lot of touchdowns.
How does that constitute to running all over them?
It constitutes.
Oh.
It constitutes, Combs. Like, how does it constitute? We're not going to go there, Combs. We're not going to go there. I said, he says, Drew says, oh my God, I'm having a hard time trying to figure out which one of you is more drunk than the other. Drew, we're not drunk.
Why? What'd I say?
Yeah, Drew, we're not drunk, man.
I'd have to have I have drinking a lot of rum tonight.
Yeah, I'm 7 beers in myself. So on a 2-hour show, whoops. So my sister, shout out to Big Danny Buck there. She says they are sticking with Cam, as in the Panthers. Which, yeah, I mean, they don't have any other choice. I mean, PJ Walker's a good XFL quarterback. I haven't seen too much from PJ in the NFL ranks, but yeah, I mean, they're going to stick with Cam for the rest of the season. I mean, they have to, right?
Yeah. Maybe she meant moving forward into next season.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, look, the Carolina Panthers do stupid shit, and that it wouldn't surprise me if they stick with Cam. Cam Newton he can't throw the ball anymore. He can't. He can barely raise his damn arms.
It hurts my shoulder. Yeah.
Like, I like Cam Newton. I've watched Cam Newton his entire career. I've watched him since he was with Auburn. Like, I think Cam Newton has been a superstar in this league for a long time. He's just not that guy anymore. He's just not. Yeah.
I mean, he was a great change of pace guy in there. I'm going to put a big body in there, but I mean, 4 passes is all pretty much what he probably can do here. So Alpha Rob comes in and says, where is this Allen bad decision stuff coming from? I don't get what bad decisions he has made. That was when we had Kev on, and he was talking about that lateral throw from Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is an MVP style quarterback. I mean, I kind of watch a lot of Buffalo Bills games. I usually watch like the NFL channel, and they show like, you know, parts of the game. From what I can tell, Josh Allen's a damn good quarterback. Excuse me. Like, what are your thoughts? Does he make bad decisions, Combs?
He's a gunslinger. He's a much larger version of Brett Favre. And I don't think he makes bad decisions. I just think he tries to make more happen than what's there sometimes.
I don't know, man. I feel like as a Buffalo Bills guy, like, you have to do that, because right now they're not running the ball. They are, you know, they're relying on their defense to win a lot of games. It seems like, because like when you're only giving up 15 points a game, I mean, it's easier to play loose.
But you've got Stephon Diggs, you've got Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley, you got Knox, you've got 2 really solid running backs in Buffalo. You don't always have to make things happen. I just think he always prefers to try to make something happen. He tries to be Patrick Mahomes, and he's just not that. Like, he needs to play within himself and be the quarterback that he is, and he'll be fine.
You know who Josh Allen really reminds me of?
Who?
Big Ben, like about 7 years ago. Like, he had that big frame.
Good Big Ben.
Yeah, so he had that big frame, the big, strong arm, and he only ran when he absolutely had to. But when he did run, it was like 15 yards, right? Like, if Josh Allen could just stay in the pocket and really use that big, strong arm and make smart choices, I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, the guy could absolutely, wouldn't shock me in the least, to see him win a Super Bowl. His first Super Bowl, Buffalo's first Super Bowl.
Would it be their first one
I could definitely
ever?
see it happen. It'd be their first victory. Yeah, I mean they've been to 4.
Wow.
They're 0-4.
I didn't realize they've never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I used to have a calendar, and it said there's like 5 NFL teams that have never won a Super Bowl. It's been like the Lions and like the Panthers and the Jaguars, obviously, and then apparently the Bills were on there. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Panthers didn't win one. I thought the Panthers won one.
No, they lost to the Patriots when they were 15-1, weren't they, or something like that? No,
yeah, but didn't they go? They won another time too, didn't they? Like their first year in the league or something.
Oh, with who was their quarterback? Was that Mark? No, Mark Monell was this Jaguars quarterback.
No, it was Jake Delhomme.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever won a Super Bowl, man. I don't think they've had. I mean, they've gone to the Super Bowl.
Maybe not.
But are you ready to end the show with the greatest topic ever?
Uh-oh. Let's do it. I'm scared now, though.
It is your Take 22 topic here, Combs. So before we get too carried away, tell the people what Take 22 is all about.
So Take 22 is for the Till Valhalla project. It's the 22 veterans a day commit suicide. Actually, it just happens to be the shirt that I'm wearing today. It is the 22 veterans a day commit suicide. It's 22 too many. It's something that we really need to bring awareness to, really need to get our veterans help when they come home, and make sure that they keep going and, give them the same support that we give to a lot of other people when they come into this country. So it's something that's near and dear to my heart. It's something I will talk about until that number goes down to 0. And so, yeah, that's what Takeaway 22 is all about.
Yeah, guys, and we do have the Take 22 t-shirts. Links are in the description. All profits from those t-shirts will go to actually my dad's motorcycle club, where they work with PTSD from old military people, EMS, etc. So they have a great cause over there and whatnot. So Combs, do you want me to read the topics, or do you have them handy?
You can go ahead and read them.
Alrighty, so we'll let you go first here, Combs. So 22 seconds on the clock. Let me get my clock. Put 22 seconds on there because we still don't have the timer. Imagine that, Bucks failing at life again. There we go. So topic number 1, Combs, is Tom Brady is finding the cliff.
No damn way. Tom Brady is not finding the cliff. Tom Brady is still Tom Brady till the day he dies, not the day he retires. He's the best quarterback in the NFL, and I will never put my money against Tom Brady. I'm not betting against Tom Brady. You know what, Buck? Give me your money, and then maybe I'll think about betting against Tom Brady, but it's a stupid bet.
It is a stupid bet because Tom Brady is finding the cliff there, Combs. Has he found it? Absolutely not. Man, he is still Tom Brady. Everything like you said. But after this year, after 2022, when they get a first-round playoff exit, he will find the cliff, and he will find himself in sweet, sweet jail over and over and over again. So, I thought I pushed stop. Damn.
Sounds
I feel
like my alarm in the morning.
Mine too.
That just gave me nightmares, man.
Shit. That
Gotta go to work.
So obviously, Combs, Kyler Murray is kind of the big deal in Arizona. The games that he has not played, they clearly have lost this season. So tell me why the Arizona Cardinals should give Kyler Murray a long-term deal now.
You give Kyler Murray a long-term deal now because Kyler Murray is proven that he can lead a very good team into very good places. Without Kyler Murray, this team is not the same. Without Kyler Murray, this team went from an 8-0 team to an 8-2 team. So, yes, you absolutely need to give Kyler Murray an extension right now.
And that's exactly where you're wrong, because they do not need to give Kyler Murray extension, because this is a plug-and-play system, Combs. You can put Colt McCoy and then have success in there. You can get a Trevor Siemian in there and have success.
They're 0-2 with Colt McCoy. So.
Okay, Colt McCoy also got hurt. Actually, Colt McCoy beat the San Francisco 49ers, Combs. So they actually lost with Kyler Murray in there. But, yeah, I mean, Kyler Murray does not need a long-term extension because he's going to be out of the league in 6 years anyways, or in year 6 anyway. So, no, definitely not. So, next one up here, Combs, is Big Ben did not play this week versus the Detroit Lions. Mason Rudolph did step in there. Tell me why or why not Mason Rudolph is the worst backup in the league. Woo, my bad.
Whoa, Gesundheit. Mason Rudolph is the worst backup quarterback in the league. Mason Rudolph is a dud. I don't want Mason Rudolph touching the football if he is on my team. It does not lead to anything good. The only thing that you could hope is that you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, is that you play the Cleveland Browns and Myles Garrett finishes off the other side of his head.
Oh, jeez. So this is the same Mason Rudolph that led to the Steelers 8-8, last season or 2 seasons ago. So he is not the worst backup quarterback in the league. The worst backup quarterback in the league, hands down, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is the worst quarterback in the league because you never know what you're going to get from him, Combs. It's absolutely mind-boggling watching him play. So the last Take 22 topic of the night, guys, here. We have to go near and dear to Brandon BC Combs' heart here. BC merch is in the description. Check it out. But Combs, tell me why or why not the Chicago Bears should fire Matt Nagy this week.
The Bears should have fired Matt Nagy 60 weeks ago. They should have fired Matt Nagy the day they hired Matt Nagy. Should absolutely fire Matt Nagy. Look, the guy is an incompetent buffoon. He does not instill confidence. He can't call any plays, and he certainly can't lead and can't develop a young quarterback like we need him to right now with Justin Fields.
So, Combs, I'm going to tell you why they will not fire Matt Nagy this week, because they should have fired him last week. Like, if they really wanted to fire him, they should have fired him last week before the bye week, so you would have had 2 weeks to install a new system, a new coaching staff, yada, yada, yada. Guys, Matt Nagy is not going to go anywhere because Combs, somehow, some way, they're going to muster out 8 wins, and it's just going to piss you off, and he's going to be there for another 5 or 6 years, sign an extension. Hell, he might sign that $100 million John Gruden deal. Watch out.
Yeah. He's so bad. He's so bad.
So Drew says Matt Nagy is an incompetent ass, as I got to show that comment because he said ass and blocked it apparently.
Oh.
Drew says work allergies, Buck. No, it's that time of season, man. Like here in the Ohio Valley, man, the allergies kick my ass this time of year. I'll probably be flat on my ass probably for a week coming up. So it never fails. And then Drew says, why would you fire a coach in midseason? What's the point?
Why? The point is to see if somebody else can come in and not totally ruin your rookie quarterback, especially because he's been playing well. And if you can get on a run right now, you can sneak into the playoffs in the NFC with a halfway decent team. They're not a terrible team. That defense is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And so if they sneak into the playoffs, anything can happen, and that's why you fire a head coach.
Isn't Max still hurt too? Is he out still, or
yeah?
Was he out?
I mean, he
I can't remember.
He was, but he should be back for this game this coming Sunday.
Okay, so do the Bears beat the Ravens this week?
Yes.
Yes, that's my boy. So, guys, that's going to be it for tonight's show. We did not get to any of the talk that we really wanted to get into because we dove into the Tampa talk. We spent a half hour with Kevo. So tomorrow, guys, we're going to talk some Indianapolis Colts and Jaguars. We're going to talk some more Patriots versus Bills, Titans, Saints, and whatever big news happens in the NFL world. And, of course, we got to talk about Torrey Anderson's Packers because, you know, go Pack, go, right? Here, I got the flag. Go Pack, go.
The Rams' offensive juggernaut losing its luster might be a topic tomorrow. Because they're down 21-7 in the third quarter.
Good.
They just can't score right
I
now.
hope they miss the freaking playoffs. Hope they miss the playoffs. But Combs, that's going to be it for tonight, guys. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Download the Good Pods app, guys. We are ranked #2 sports podcast over there. Go ahead and give us a ranking in there. You can rank each episode. That's Good Pods. You can download that on Android or iOS devices. Also, if you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on youtube.com/man-hour. And of course, we do upload clips every 3 hours over there. So guys,
how we save that for the end of the show, man? We gotta boost that. The #2 ranked sports podcast in the country.
#2, baby. #2.
What the? How are we not like? How is that not like the background of the show?
Combs, you are the graphics guy. Make it happen.
It's gonna happen.
But send us out, big guy.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.